So guys, welcome to Night Drives, and you join us out in Jake's BMW 2002 Turbo. What is the car? What are we in?
So this car started life as a BMW 1502. So it's 1976. It's an Italian import. Started its life in Rome, as far as I can tell, as far as history will go. So it's imported in about 2004. A family owned it and passed hands with the family for a couple of years before I bought it from a guy in Glasgow. I flew up to Glasgow with my mate, based in Birmingham. So Glasgow's about 300 miles.
Yeah, about what, 45-minute flight, something like that?
Yeah. So flew over to Glasgow, met a lovely guy called David, and it sounds stupid, but to a certain extent, the person you buy the car off gives you a vibe for the car straight away.
100%, yeah.
And this guy was like the loveliest guy you could ever meet. Like, he picked us up from the airport, got to his house, seen the car. It was completely standard, minus some 13-inch alloys. There was a hearing aid beige colour, absolute horrid colour. Proper granddad spec sort of car.
Yeah.
And drove it the entire way back, absolutely flawless, didn't skip a single beat. The only time I nearly broke down was running out of fuel, because the fuel gauge is not erratic, but once you get to a certain point, it goes down very quickly.
Yeah.
Got it home, and within 2 weeks of enjoying it a little bit, decided to, right, let's just go for it and strip it. And, fully go for it. I'd sort of had a vision in my head of what I wanted to build the entire time. I used to own an E30 before this, which was also on airlift, OZ Futuras, full show build. And I'd wanted one of these for quite some time. Right one popped up. I had to sell the E30, unfortunately, to fund this, and then some. Basics, stripping out the interior, getting all sound deadening out, strip it right back to bare metal. Then we pulled the lump out of it, the motor, the stock 1500, and got it on a rotisserie spit. Totally stripped the underside of it.
It's so minimal in here, isn't it?
Oh, there's literally the bare minimum. All you require.
All stock, all this dash, other than the head unit?
So the dash is stock. It's got the turbo 3-cluster clock, so I can obviously keep an eye on my temps. Also, keep an eye on boost. Whilst it was on the rotisserie spit, we pulled the dash out, and once we removed the dash, it revealed the car's original colour, which was silver. But more importantly, underneath the dash was a parking ticket from 1977.
Wow.
In Italy, which I've still got. I've actually got it in a little folder. So that sort of confirmed the car's background, but I can trace back its original registration from when it was in Italy.
Really?
So that's really, really cool. I mean, I was over the moon to find that, as you can imagine.
Yeah, that's really cool.
The original turbo colours, there's two. There's Polaris Silver and Chamonix White. And I was going to go for the Chamonix White, but it was a bit too creamy, so I ended up settling on Alpine White.
In terms of the suspension, I guess you've just welded up an airlift strut onto something else, like a bit of a Frankenstein strip build, I guess. Yeah,
pretty much. So there isn't a direct off-the-shelf kit available for this. So what we're actually running is the E30 airlift front strut, because I love the idea of having the double bellow bags, and it's got the camber adjustable top mounts out of the box. So it wasn't that bad to fit, surprisingly. All we had to do was modify the top mount a small amount. We had to actually just drill the hole slightly larger on the original O2 turret. And then, of course, on the bottom it gets welded up to the hub anyway, same as it does on the E30s.
Yeah, we did the same in my 8 Series, exactly the same.
So it
welded
was
to the hub.
lovely and easy. That was great. So that was the front end sorted, and on the rear end we're actually running Mark V Golf rear bags.
Really?
So they have a sort of like an anti-roll type bracket, like a perch. And what we've done is we've flipped that upside down, welded that to the chassis of the car, and that's what supports the top half of the bag. And then on the underside, it's got just a simple drilled hole through the trailing arm that bolts up the underside of the bag as well. So a double bellow front and rear, which is ideal for it's just so much more comfortable. I personally prefer double bellow. We're also running the old school airlift V2. I'm just a massive fan of the V2 management.
I think it suits the car though. It almost
Yeah,
looks
it's
like
dead simple.
Like when you said it was in the ashtray, I was kind of like,
yeah, it tucks away into the ashtray,
Yeah.
lovely. Which I love, because you can just go to a show, hide it away, and you know it's bagged, but there's nothing better than somebody trying to hunt for your controller just to confirm that you're on air ride.
I have to do that when I go to shows. Like, obviously, I'm going to shoot for airlift, and sometimes I look at a car and I'm like, "Is it got air? I'm pretty sure it's got air." And then I look inside and I'm like,
just as a confirmation.
"Yeah, I love it when they have it just on the seat, almost it's like a we're on air." It makes my job a lot.
Yeah, it does, absolutely, because there are some absolutely ridiculous cars out there now. You don't know sometimes. Engine-wise, we're running an M42, which is also out of an E30, out of a 318 IS. It's a 1.8 twin cam 16 valve.
It's like you've kind of gone back to your E30 in a lot of ways with the car.
I have, because ironically my E30 was a 318 IS, and that is sort of what gave me the love for that engine. But I wanted to whack a big turbo on it.
Yeah.
Like that. So yeah, it's a lot of fun.
That is impressive for a car of this age. That noise.
That's the screamer.
That is insane. I didn't even know I had a screamer on it.
Yeah, so
This must be so addictive. Let's talk about the wheels.
yeah,
You
man.
said the wheels are your favourite part of the car.
They are. So the wheels are BBS E30s, magnesiums. Spec is ridiculous. 15s. On the front we're running 8.5, and on the rear we're running 9s, 9J. The spec is a little bit different. We're running 4-inch barrel. Obviously the wheels are face mounted, so 4-inch barrel with 4.5-inch lip up front and a 5-inch lip up rear. So the lip is wider than the barrel.
What does it compared like to your E30?
Good question.
Do you regret the change, or do you think it's been...
No, I mean, I did at the time. I think the thing is, when you go from something that is what you consider is mostly done to something that is literally a complete blank canvas, I think naturally you're always going to sort of not regret your decision, but certainly question, are you doing the right thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I sunk my teeth in and I just went for it. I thought there's no point sort of going back and thinking, oh, should I have kept the E30? I mean, don't get me wrong, I missed the car. Like, it was a brilliant car, but I think because I knew what I wanted to build in my head the entire time, I knew that it would be worth it. It is quite different to the E30. It drives different. It's obviously a completely different vibe. The E30 was, I wouldn't say more comfortable, but it was a bit more refined.
Yeah.
This is quite raw, solid engine mounts, everything's polybushed, it's quite loud,
Yeah.
screamer pipe and everything. But at the same time, can confirm, loud.
Confirm. How did it compare to, obviously you drove it back on the stock suspension, or whatever was on it, how does it compare now with the airlift on it?
Over the moon with how it drives. I think if it was on coilovers with everything being polybushed and solid, I think it'd probably push it over the edge. I'm like a bagged guy, out and out. Like, I understand that some people rather go coilovers, take a car to a track and things like that, but I like a fast road car where it's something I can enjoy and then something I can park up and sit and look at and think, that looks badass, that looks unbelievable. For how I like my cars and how I build my cars, airlift is perfect. I've had it on this, I've had it on my E30, and my Mrs. E30 is also on air ride as well, with airlift 3P, and it's just, to me, a no-brainer. Like,
Well, thanks for showing us around your BMW.
no worries, dude.
Really enjoyed it.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been an amazing night, to be honest. Really enjoyed it. Maybe we'll look out for an E9 in the future.
Maybe. Don't tempt me.